Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to Billiard Lovers Finland. Että Jani on asunut täällä ihan pienistä pitäen täällä Suomenlinnassa. Vielä 90-luvulla. Miten se menikään?
Niin siis mä oon syntynyt vuonna 87 ja niin kuin joskus 90 vuonna asuttiin tossa Pirun kirkossa ja siis puulämmitys, ei juoksevaa vettä eikä sisävessaa. Niin on se aika hurja miettiä, että 90 on ollut vielä tälleen. Niin vedet tuotiin vesiautolla ja oli se aikamoista.
Tän takana on Suomenlinnan vankila.
Joo, siis tää on nyt niinku itse asiassa toi muuri, mikä näkyy tuolla, niin vähän suoraan tai ison vaaleanpunaisen talon takana.
Ja siinä on Suomenlinnan avovankila. Tällaisessakin paikassa on vankila.
Kyllä.
Joten käyttäydytään. Now we're gonna have a look how to change the snooker cue tip by Jani. He's really good in doing those things, and let's see snooker cue and how to change a tip at home.
By hand, because otherwise I will use the latte, but now the snooker cue we're going to do by hand. So here's going to be a few tips for you if you like to install your tip by yourself.
So usually the tip comes off just like this. No, not really. You have to use. Jani will show you how to do it.
So probably there was a bit bad glue, but normally it comes off quite easily. It doesn't stick too hard. You can use a blade like this, or if you have something like this, because now you can see there's some glue still on it. But the main thing is that you keep this as straight as possible, because if you get any dents or stuff like this here, then the new tip won't stick. It will come off because there's going to be air between the cue and the tip, and that is no good. So be careful. This is messing probably, so it doesn't scratch that easy. But still, you have to be really careful, especially playing with sharp tools.
You can do it also with the knife.
Yeah. But actually, this one is a bit better, in my opinion. But most of the people have their own styles of doing different stuff.
You can choose which one.
Now I have to sit down. Oh. So this is just for keeping the ferrule straight. So I have this, I think it's around 150, probably 200, something like this. So not too heavy sandpaper. But yeah, this is the tricky part, because here you can easily mess up the ferrule so that it's not level. So be careful with that. But now it starts to be quite good. So now I just want to make sure that everything of the old glue is off, like this. And after that we take see-through tape to cover the ferrule, so if there's glue coming over, so it doesn't mess up the ferrule. So this is just to keep your cue nice and clean, so you don't get any glue on the cue, like this. And then we actually need the glue from the refrigerator. Stays better longer when you have it on the fridge. And yeah, like this, then just a little bit of shaking. And this is the glue I'm using. Really good.
And I choose the tips. I'll try Taom tips for the snooker, and then we're gonna do a pool cue, also Taom Pro soft, and then we're gonna do a break cue, Taom break tip to that. So we're gonna try those tips today.
Yeah. So then normally you can see on the tip that here is the glue side. You might want to scratch it a little bit. So same kind of tool, just push it on the table, then few times rotate the tip, so you get it get equal sandpaper. Normally quite good amount is that when the printing comes off, then it's good. You don't want to scratch it too much, because then the bottom layer will go too thin, and that's not good. Okay, so now the tip is ready. So actually now we have quite tight tip for the cue. So this is a nice little tip for you guys. So for example, if the tip comes off and you want to re-glue it, then first put few rounds of the tape there on the ferrule, and then as you can see now, it comes just a little bit over. So now we have basically this guidance tape, so that now when I just place the tip here, so now it will be center. So this is quite good, but you want to test it first that it comes good there. So like this. And now when I put the glue on, it will come straight to the middle. Yeah, that's going to be hopefully good. Let's shake this a bit, then just a little bit of glue there, like that, and then the tip, like, whoa, like so, and then put some pressure on it to make it really stick. So, and then if there's some glue coming over the tape, swipe it off so you don't get it on the cue. like so. And now we take off the tape and the tip should be in the middle. But yeah, so now it comes a bit over the edge. And the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to make it level with the ferrule. So for that we need this cutting tool, which we can find from here. Looks like a pen sharpener, so this is quite good. When using this one, be careful not to scratch the ferrule and don't push it too hard, because it will leave a mark here if you push it too hard. And then just careful work, watching the edge of the blade that it doesn't bite into the ferrule. And BTV, you can find this from Suomen Biljardimyynti, if we can say that here. Quite handy tool, fixing the tips yourself. Then just make sure that there's no more extra glue on the edge. And then it starts to be quite good. Just some of the finishing touches there. Oh, there's a bit more. There's a small extra. So like this. And the next step is to shape the tip and give the last final touches. Yeah. So now we want to make this job a bit more easier. So we give the first shape with the blade, like so. And then we take one of these. This is one of my favorite tip tools. Quite fast. Need some experience with it because there's no shape. It's by free hand, so you might need to do a few tips before.
Other option, you have this kind of a sandpaper tool for the tip. This is really handy if you want to try this.
Yeah, so basically the same idea then with that one. Works a bit differently, but still really good. So this is basically for the so-called hard work, when you have to get lots of the tip off first. So this is really good for that one. It's covered, so you don't have to think about the shape so much. Just go straight here. You can change the angle a bit, so you'll get it a bit more how you say it? You get it a bit more round. Yeah, a bit more round.
Roundish.
Roundish, yeah. But yeah, so now depending on the customer's preference, then we'll just give him what he needs. Normally we aim for the so-called optimum or optimal shape, of the tip, which is the same roundness that you have on the ball. So basically a quarter, or how you want to say it, 50 cents. You can put the coin here and check the roundness. So, but yeah, starts to be quite good. So now the last thing I like to do, I like to burn the edges of the tip with this one, liquid burnisher. So we have just a little piece of cloth here. You just put this one here so that the cloth gets a bit wet, and then just get the tip a little bit wet with the burnisher. Then take a dry part of the cloth and then same thing. And now, as you can see, we have burned the edges of the tip. So this is how you change the tip by hand. Doesn't take too long, but remember, I've been doing this for almost 10 years, so. But yeah, so hopefully this info will help you if you change it yourself. And this is the way to do it.
So this is my brake cue. I want to try Taom brake tip. So we're gonna change this one to white Taom brake tip, and let's see, Yanni can do the job.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to do it, so I
yeah.
leave it for you.
So basically these brake and jump cues, they are way more easier to change with lathe because the tip is so hard that it's really difficult to do anything by hand. So then we use the machine, and now I have to take this one off first. Then take these sticks, and then we have to level the cue here with this clock, and hopefully it will be. So now the shakiness is about 400 parts of millimeter, so not that much, but we want to make it a bit closer. Wrong direction. This might take a while sometimes. Close enough, because we have to do it later a bit more. And then machine on, and then we start to take the old tip off. So now we took off the old tip, and when coming to closer of the ferrule and the shaft itself, then we luckily have these so small steps that we can move with this. It's basically like one part of 100 of a millimeter, something like this. So basically the last part was that we just took off the old glue from the cue, and now again we put on the tape to cover the cue or to protect the ferrule from the overcoming glue, because it's a bit difficult to scratch it off if you get it on there. So now, and then we have the tip here, same thing, scratch the bottom, not too much, like so. Then back here, wipe off the dust so it doesn't stay there between the cue and the tip. Normally I might check that the ferrule is straight, like so, because of the blade is dead straight. So checking it out this way, I make sure that there's no gaps and it's going to be really tight. Then I try the fit. Again, it's quite tight. This is 14 millimeter tip, but the cue is like 13.5, so it's quite tight, but that's okay. Just put a bit of moisturizing there to make the glue stick a bit better. With steady hand, hopefully it's in the middle. Stick it there so that it will stay. Takes a couple of seconds. Then wipe off the extra glue, like so. Then we take off the tape again. Now it will come off a bit easier, like so. No glue there. Then we can check it comes quite good over on every side or around the shaft, so there's good ways to
It's a nice color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this color.
Yeah. So now we again check that the cue rolls as straight as possible. We can check it from there. It's actually quite good. It doesn't shake too much. The shaking might be because of the lines of the wood, or there's some scratches or something. This is really accurate thing to have. And then we start to work on the tip. Then with this water sanding paper, I give just a small touch edge here. Like so, and then we have this final. Actually, this is also from Finland. Mirka Polar Shine. So this gives the tip and the ferrule really nice, clean looking shine. Now we can add up the rounds per minute. Three times a charm, then without anything, like so. And then we want to make the tip a bit more. Let's lower the spinning, and then like this. And then basically the lathe work is done now, and I will do the finishing by freehand. I like to do it that way. Basically I can do it with this also, but I'm so pedant that I want to do it by hand. And then again with my favorite. So yeah, and there we have break or jump cue. And this is the way to do it.
I'm gonna try this Taom V10 to Taom breaking tip. Let's see how it grips. The chalk. Most of the breaking cues what I have used and chalks what I have tried, there's some tip coming through the chalk, but this chalk really, we'll see. We have to play it, but try it and play it, but it seems to do the job.
So with playing cue to start with, it's a bit easier when the tip is much more softer than the phenolic ones or the one that Taom is. But with this, just take most of it off with a blade. Then we again set the cue here. Now I know that this is 12.5 millimeters, so I have to take the to make sure that there's nothing coming to the cue from the machine. So I have these collets to protect the shaft. Then let's make it nice and tight. Again here, like this. And then again we check that the shaft will roll nicely. Let's see, from the ferrule it's a bit easier. And as you can see now, it's quite straight. The clock doesn't turn to basically anywhere. Just a small one, like so. And now it rolls really nicely. So, and then we take off the last part of the old tip. And as it was factory tip, it comes off quite easily. Sometimes it's just pure luck what you get out of factory, because the glue that they use, it might have been there for a while, or the machine put the glue on some way, maybe a bit differently or something, so they don't always be as perfect as from you know, changing it separately. So now the old tip is off. We only have the ferrule there. Now we need to again cover the ferrule to keep it nice and clean. This is actually a brand new cue, so especially then we don't want anything there on the cue or on the shaft. Yes, got it. Like so. Then again we need to scratch the amount that you want to scratch, that the printing just comes off. One way, and this is actually quite good or quite handy tip for you, if you install by hand or if you don't have something like that, you can take a blade and then just make a small straight line there, then turn it around, and now you can see there's this crossing. So this helps the glue a bit better to stick between the lines and the ferrule. So here's quite handy tip for you. Then we cover the bed of the lathe. Again, we don't want any glue there. Then again, take the dust off. As you can see, there's lots of this so take it off. You don't want that between the glue and the ferrule. It might crack the glue later on. And then again, I like to do this with a level, just by freehand. There's also tools to make it center, but if you do this quite much, you will find the way to do it by freehand.
And I choose the tip to this my playing cue. This is the same tip what Garrett Potts uses, Taom Pro Soft.
Yep.
3-time world champion of Chinese 8-ball, Garrett Potts.
Yeah. So then extra glue off, then the tape off, again like this. Last pressing to make sure that it's really in there. Yes. So again we check that after pressing the tip on, that it still goes straight as possible, and then we do the final touches. Now we have the wrong way, probably now a bit better. Yeah, that's good, close enough. And then again, some of the cue makers or the guys making these repairing cues, they like to do this like this, that you have blade between your hands and from here. But I like to keep my hands safe, so I like to use this one. Same work, different ways. Oh. So now we have it really close. Then with playing cues I like to make it a bit round. Because it makes now the finishing job a bit more easier when it's a bit round. Because with playing cue we want to make it a bit like this, because when shooting the ball first time it will turn this way. So when it's at first like this, when it starts to mushroom, so called, then it will be really good and straight. But yeah, so now with the sanding paper again. Here also you need to be really careful not to scratch the ferrule. So you need quite stable hand. So normally I like to take the top layer off because there's, as you can see, there's printing, and also it might be a bit dry, or you know, the feeling is not so good. So that's why I take the top layer off, and after that I shape the tip. Like so. And now again we take the burnisher.
Looks good. Looks perfect.
Yeah.
I like the yellow stripe.
Yeah, those marking stripes are quite handy if you don't know when you need to change the tip. So when you have one layer like this, when the tip reaches the layer, then you know that you need to change the tip. So as you can maybe see now, the level of the layers is now right between here. So you want to make, when shaping the tip, you want to make sure that you take the edge just a bit below the between of the layers. Because otherwise, if I leave it like this, then the layer might pop from here. If you miscue shooting hard, something like this, the layers might pop. So you want to make sure to take it just a bit down from there. Just a second. So now it's basically same as out of the factory.